Hi everyone, this is a Focus Spender, and today I'm going to be talking to you about my student loan payoff system. So I was able to pay off about $65,000 worth of student loan debt in 3 years, and today I'm going to be showing you exactly what I did to accelerate my payoff dramatically. But first, if you're new to my channel, I would love for you to subscribe. My channel is all about getting out of debt, staying out of debt, organizing your personal finances, and increasing your net worth. So let's get started. So a little bit of backstory about me. I graduated from college with about $20,000 worth of student loan debt, and in 3 years I was able to save an additional $13,000 that I used to help me pay a little bit on my graduate school education, but also to move and to finance my life while I was in grad school. So when I graduated from graduate school, I had an additional, I guess, about $50,000 worth of debt because I had my federal loans. I took out the max every year, and I had a couple of personal loans just to finish paying off my tuition. I did not use any loans to live off of because I had that money that I saved. And if you want to know how I saved that money, I was only making about $24,000 and I was able to save $13,000 in a very short amount of time. I will link to my blog post in the description box below. So if you follow me on YouTube, you probably already know that I use the Dave Ramsey Total Money Makeover system to pay off my student loan debt. I did the debt snowball method, meaning I ordered my debt from smallest to largest, and I paid it off in that order. But the only issue I had with the debt snowball, I felt that it just didn't have enough strategy towards it. Basically, his method was throw all of your extra cash towards your debt. And that did not give me an exact number. For me, I'm definitely someone that needs a number to focus on. Just saying, put all your extra money towards your debt was not helpful for me. I needed to say, put an additional $500, additional $800 towards your debt, because that way my brain was able to say, okay, this is how much you make, this is how much extra you need to earn every single month to have to pay towards your debt. And so once I was able to come up with that number, then I was able to really focus and pay off my debt. So like promised, I'm going to be sharing with you my 5-step process that I use, and also a couple of extra tips that really help me to accelerate my payoff. So step 1, you're going to need to gather up all of your student loan documentation. You're going to need to know exactly how much you owe, what the minimum payments are, what the interest rate is, and the amount of time you have left on the loan. So then in step 2, you're going to take your monthly income that you have from all sources and subtract out just your fixed expenses, excluding the loan amount. So you're going to add up your rent or your mortgage, your car insurance, whatever fixed expenses that you have, your phone, and do not include your loan, like I said, and subtract that from your monthly income. And that is going to become your theoretical number that you have to pay off your loan and to live off of. So in step 3, you're going to use a basic loan calculator, which I'll show you a little bit later on, but you're going to use a loan calculator to determine how much extra you need to be paying a month. When you fill out everything in the loan calculator, you're going to put in your minimum payment, and you're going to put in, you know, the 10 years or however long they're giving you to pay out on the loan. You'll see like how much additional money you're going to spend in interest. And then you're going to go back and you're going to start reducing those years. So if it said 10 years, you're going to put in 9, and then you're going to get that monthly minimum payment. And if it's something you can handle, great. If you know you could do more, put in 8 years instead of 9 years, and then you look at that monthly minimum payment. So you're going to keep doing that until the number gets to a point where you're like, okay, this is way too much money for me to handle. And then that number, whatever number you have determined is something that you could possibly handle, you're going to create a budget around that number. So I'm on the website finaid.org, and I'm just going to plug in some numbers. So right now I have a loan balance of $18,500. I have an interest rate of 4.13%. Loan fees, I have none. Loan term 10 years, and I'll have the minimum payment at $200. So if you calculate that, if you pay it off based on the minimum, you're going to be paying an additional $3,800 worth of interest. Now you can take that same information and say, all right, I'm going to pay it off in 9 years. So if you pay it off in 9 years, you only have to add $5 to pay it off, to knock off an entire year of payments. So let's say you want to pay it off in 5 years. You click calculate, and now you have to pay $341 a month to pay off your loans in 5 years. So looking at that sheet that has your monthly income and your fixed expenses, you're going to now plug in your new monthly minimum payment for your loan, and then whatever is remaining, that's where you're going to budget around. So budgeting around that, maybe the number that you have come up with, you determine might be still too high, then that's when you're going to decide, okay, what other side hustles am I going to need to get? How much more money do I need to make at my job? What do I need to do to come up with extra income so that I can pay off my loan using this new number as opposed to the minimum payment they've told me, and still be able to live my life. So in step 5, you are going to actually make those payments with your loan company, but you have to make sure that when you're making those payments, the payments are going towards your principal and not extending your payout. I definitely had one situation where I made a payment on my loan, and this was actually before the total money makeover. I was just trying to see what happens if I just put a little extra, and I think I made a double payment, or maybe I made a triple payment, and instead of knocking down my principal, they just didn't send me a bill for like 3 or 4 months. At the time, I wasn't making a lot of money, so I was not upset with that, but then it really didn't help me at all because it did not reduce my payoff time. So when you're making those payments, you have to make sure that it's going towards your principal. And some of these student loan companies are just very tricky. With my cousin, she was doing this, and every time she would make a large payment, they would just put it towards extending the payout, and she would have to call and say, no, I do not want it to go towards interest. I don't want it to go to extending the payout. I want it to go to the principal. And then they would make her write a letter every single time. And so finally she had them tell her exactly what she needed to write in one letter, so that anytime she made an additional payment, it was going towards the principal, and it was going towards the principal of the loan that she wanted, because this was like, again, Navient, so I think it had multiple loans within that group. So I know that their system has been improved and fixed. You'll be able to put that extra payment toward the exact loan that you want, whether you want it to be the loan with the highest interest rate, or if you want it to be the loan with the lowest amount, whatever you want to do. So basically that was it for my 5-step process. Other things that I did to really help me accelerate that payment amount was to make multiple payments in a month. So what I would do, I would pay, I think my loan, this was so long ago, but I think my loans were about $530 a month or $550, and my goal really was to pay $1,100 a month. Every month was not, that just didn't happen every month. Some months I would pay $800, and other months I would pay $1,100 to start out with. So in a month I might say the bill is due on the 1st. I'm just making this up, but the bill is due on the 1st. I will pay $530. The next time I got paid, then I would put in an additional $300 to get to, $830. Another month, I would put an additional $500 as my second payment, so that I would sometimes get to $1,100. Now, when I started to get pay raises and when I switched jobs and I made more money, I increased how much I was paying per month. And then at some point, I really would make significant, like double and triple payments. So sometimes I would pay $2,000 in a month, like just really depending on how much extra money that I had. And anytime I got a tax refund, so for 3 years, whenever I would get my tax refund checks, I would take about 80% of it and I would put it towards my loan. So I would really, really, really knock things down. And I think that was about it. So it was making extra payments and increasing the minimum that I paid every time I got a pay raise. And I also had my side hustle, so that was how I was really funding my payoff amounts in the very beginning. I hope that was helpful for you. If you like this video, be sure to click thumbs up, subscribe, share it with your friends. And you can also find me on social media. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter at Focused Spender. Thanks. Bye-bye.